they're all just constantly around the victim mentality, and they're never going to better themselves because that's all they do. That's all they know is being a victim. Welcome back to the show. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the first topic. Trump is calling for Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren to take a drug test. Go ahead, roll the clip.
So vicious what they do. Elizabeth Warren said she was an Indian. We call her Pocahontas. She's a liar. She lied her whole career. Based on the fact that she was an Indian, she was able to get into certain colleges, get certain jobs, get into certain universities to work there. She's a liar and a mean person. She's a nut job. I watched her the other night. She's all hopped up endorsing a communist in New York City. And she was all excited and jumping up and down. She's got to take a drug test. She really does. She's got to take a drug test. There's no way somebody can act that way and be normal. What she's done to our financial institutions, he destroys people.
You gotta love how he's just constantly calling out the left-wing nut jobs, especially Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. Everything this woman says is just complete, insane left-wing lunatic material, right? Total nut job. And it's hilarious how he keeps bringing up the Pocahontas thing, how she was claiming she's Native American or something, and she got into a bunch of colleges, and basically, you know, her whole life is because she faked being a Native American, right? So it's like, she did it before it was cool, though, so I guess you gotta at least give her some sort of credit. You know, nowadays everybody's faking everything, right? So, oh yeah, what do you identify as on a government document? Oh, of course I'm black, or of course I'm Hispanic. You know, people are always doing that to try to get whatever free thing they can from the government, if it's even possible, you know, but yeah, I just love how Trump calls people out. I mean, we're just lucky to be living in a time where we have a president who's willing to say these types of things and call out people that need to be called out, folks. Need to be called out. I mean, yeah, does anybody doubt that Elizabeth Warren needs to take some sort of drug test? She's probably on some sort of, you know, Prozac or antidepressant, something weird, you know, that's just totally just causing her to be a total lunatic. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. LA Mayor Karen Bass is pissed at Trump for an ICE raid that happened near a Gavin Newsom event. Go ahead, roll the clip.
Not believe that this just happened to be a coincidence.
There is no way this was a coincidence. This was widely publicized that the governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face. Why would you do that? That is unbelievably disrespectful. It's a provocative act. They're talking about disorder in Los Angeles, and they are the source of the disorder in Los Angeles right now. This is just completely unacceptable. This is a administration, this is a Customs and Border Patrol that has gone amok. This absolutely has to stop. There was no danger here. There was no need to detain anyone here. And there was certainly no need to have a provocative act right here where the governor is having a press conference.
Can we just get one instance where this woman is out there actually supporting Americans and talking about Americans rather than just supporting illegals and talking about how afraid the whole illegal population is in LA due to these ICE raids? It's just crazy that this is where we're at, where the mayor of Los Angeles and just basically all libtards care more about illegals than they do about actual Americans and like Americans thriving. They would rather see illegals just get completely funded till the death of America before they actually want to help support Americans, right? It's insane. But yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff going on in LA right now, like the Palisades fire victims, you know, they're basically getting railroaded because nobody can get permits and they just can't do any sort of rebuilding because there's all the red tape, you know, and it's going to be a total land grab. Sooner or later, these people are just going to be losing their homes to eminent domain, or they're not going to be able to pay, like, you know, fees or whatever. They're going to be feed right out of their dwellings, you know, their properties. But yeah, I just want to see the mayor of LA actually coming out and supporting Americans and talking good about Americans rather than every time she's out there speaking, she's talking about how scared illegals are. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Americans don't care. This is what we voted for. Trump's doing what we voted for. Trump's doing what he said he was going to do. And Americans are loving it, folks. We're loving it. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So Kamala's stepdaughter, Ella Emhoff, has climate anxiety, folks. Go ahead, roll the clip.
I feel disgust at what's going on in the world around genocides, the loss of rights, the loss of health care, the just general fear that everyone has surrounding affordability, their lives, their livelihood, like everything. It's just, it feels so big. I think everything with the environment is really fucking getting to me. And it is I experience a lot of climate anxiety, like a lot of us do. It's not funny. It's just like, it's one of those things, it's not funny, but you just like nervous laugh about it because it's scary. It is. It's all of these things are happening, and like what besides the small things we can do in pushing for change and fighting and protesting, and it's really hard not to sit in those moments where it just feels so heavy.
Yeah, these people are absolutely insufferable. All they can ever do is play the victim and talk about how scared they are, or how this is just ruining their life, or climate change, I have climate anxiety. They're always the victim, right? Never will you see somebody like this, ever play the card of, yeah, I'm doing great, I'm loving life, I'm killing it, blah, 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 whatever you want to say, something positive about themselves. They never will, because they never really can. I mean, look at the poor gal. She looks like she doesn't even know what she is, what gender she is. She's definitely confused in the head about pretty much everything, right? And these people are just so insufferable. It's funny because during the video she laughed, but she had to call it, a nervous laugh, because she didn't want people probably in her comments talking about, oh, how could you laugh about something like this? Climate change is nothing to laugh about. They're always somebody who's going to bitch about something too, right? So the left just is constantly eating themselves. You got this girl out there talking about she's got climate anxiety, yet she still has to do some sort of trigger warning that her laugh was just a nervous laugh, because she knows that the people she's talking to and are going to be watching this video are just waiting for any little thing to just attack and basically claim it's just not cool, oh my God, how could you be that way? You're a terrible person because you laughed about climate change, right? It's sickening, and I don't even know how anybody would ever want to be around these people, or how these people have any friends, which I don't think they do, besides the other victim type friends, so they're all just constantly around the victim mentality, and they're never going to better themselves, because that's all they do, that's all they know, is being a victim. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So the NFL is getting a lot of backlash these days over all these male cheerleaders that are hired by the teams. I guess there's 12 different teams that have a male cheerleader, like either male or trans cheerleader, which, listen, no NFL fan wants this, right? Nobody wants to go to the game, pay a ton of money, you got your great seat, right in the end zone, first couple rows, and then you look down and all of a sudden you see some dude like this, some super feminine or a trans dude dancing and pretending to be like a woman and a cheerleader. No NFL fan wants that. Not even the women NFL fans want that, right? Women who are into the NFL, they're not these types of women. They're fun-loving Trump women, okay? And don't give me this oh, diversity is good, blah, blah. The only diversity the NFL cares about is a diverse playbook, right? So, their offense isn't one-dimensional. That's the only diversity the NFL cares about. If everybody's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, and they're all gonna, make the team win, then you're gonna see a team of Asians in the NFL if they're all there and the team thinks they can win, right? So don't give me diversity. The NFL's going, no, they don't care about that. All they care about is winning, and then basically non-distractions too. So why would an NFL team do this when it's a potential distraction, right? And these whole NFL cheerleaders, they're just dance teams, right? So it's not really college where they're acrobats and they're throwing them around. If the NFL wanted to go that route where they're doing more of a college cheerleader scene where they have a big, strong dude who just throws the chicks in the air and they can twirl around and they catch them, great. Nobody's going to care about that. Nobody's going to complain because we know that that's standard. The male cheerleader who's basically the strength, the brunt, who just throws these women around and, gives a courtesy cheer here and there. Nobody would be pissed at that, but the whole feminine dude who's pretending like he's like the top woman dancer on the team. No, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see it, and just nobody's calling for it. And that's like a total Bud Light type thing that the NFL would be doing here, because they know their fans don't want this crap, yet they're still allowing it anyways. But these teams are just faking people, and like it's always got to be the social media team, or of course the cheerleading squad, they're being the inclusive and they're making the team more representative. It's just like, if it's gonna be a distraction for the team, they're gonna put an end to it. So sooner or later, I think you're gonna be seeing these male cheerleaders just getting fired and just like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We don't need the distraction. That's the NFL, folks, not like inclusivity. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.